Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pure Flight Productions coverage of the 2022 Lexington Open presented by the Bluegrass Disc Golf Association. We got myself, Matt Vassil, joined as always with Sam Wheeling.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for having me back. Can't wait to see the coverage today.
For sure. We are on the back nine. These are the front nine results. Sam Lee tied for first, Woody Haas in third, Kevin Kiefer tied for fourth, and Jeremiah tied for 11th.
Yeah, a good group of guys that we've got here taking on a different course today. Definitely different than what they're used to. So remember, Fallen Springs is not like what you saw with round one coverage of vets. We're in the open now.
Very much open. Hole 10 is kind of a good indicator of that too. It's a 483-foot par 4. First shot, placement. Not super far off the tee, maybe 325 to that opening to the trees that these guys are going to be shooting for. But it is what I would consider the definition of a placement shot. You can't go far, you can't end up short, can't end up right, can't end up too left.
And you can see Sam's going for that placement shot.
He is. You can tell he took a lot of steam off of that disc. You don't have to go 325 to the trees. Landing 275, but putting yourself in a better position is a better play.
Yeah, you don't. You can kind of see the big trees right in the middle. You want to be right in front of the first bigger tree,
yes,
just so you can see the basket. If you do get too deep, it's a tougher shot to approach the basket.
You can definitely make something happen if you're out of position. You can see guys go over the top, over the trees if they're like really out of position. You see forehand rollers trying to cut it to the inside. You can get creative, but you don't want to have to if you can help it.
Yeah, this being an A-tier event, you don't want to be creative. You want easy shots for the birdie.
Nice and easy shots is the way to go. I agree.
And again, it looks like most of these guys are just playing for the layup area.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard. I played with a lot of guys out here where it was like their first time out at Falling Springs. You see this hole from the get-go, and you're like, oh, I got to make that gap. Just like that, actually. That's as perfect as you can pretty much get it. Great shot from Jeremiah.
And the good thing is the umbrellas are not open.
It's a good sign.
So it looks like
the trees are blowing, though.
Yeah.
No rain, but wind definitely playing a factor on us right now.
And again, that's the simple shot to do.
Yeah, Kevin was in a good spot.
Yep.
Woody's more pinched off. He went a little bit too far off the tee, so he's got to get a little more creative. He may go high. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to do there.
Oh, look at that, though.
I'm pretty sure he's loving that.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't see the basket if he's throwing, so he's playing with that wind.
It's a dangerous shot because if you hit even any of those guardian trees, it is thick in there.
Did not even think about that. I agree. Sam's in a good spot there as well.
Yeah.
Great approach.
And again, Sam's loving that distortion.
For sure.
The only reason I know that's what he's throwing is I played around with him, and as soon as he got it, he was throwing it almost every shot I saw him.
Jeremiah's got a long look for an eagle, too.
Oh,
a little bit high. That would have been a good one to get.
Yeah, you can see he's frustrated at it. In worst case, though, he's walking away still with a birdie.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a bad beat there.
Yeah, little high right, but
I think he just tacoed his disc.
He
frustration.
He might have. The putt really wasn't like too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't dead center, no, but that was definitely more spit out than anything else, I think.
And I believe these are some of the original Prodigy baskets.
I believe so too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this course here is it's Prodigy baskets that were put. This course is probably 6 years old. It's actually not an older course, but the Woodford County, Versailles, they take care of this course really well.
Mm-hmm.
So hole 11, 449 feet, par 3. You throw through some trees to get to some more trees. Again, it's very open actually inside the first set of trees, but the basket is right on top of kind of a small little hill. So if you do run the putt, it could go a little bit past it.
So we just went from hole 10 being the fourth easiest hole on the course to hole number 11, which is the second hardest hole on the course. So we're going from pretty much a must-get birdie to let me try to get a birdie, maybe get a par.
The birdie on this is really tough just because of the distance. A lot of these players you can see are just going to throw hyzers trying to get into that first set of tree lines. Yeah. Usually when we play this, so we'll throw something actually hyzer far to the right to try to get distance to bite in. But again, like you said, some of these players, they haven't really seen this course, so they don't
may have
know.
Had one practice round in,
And I don't know what the wind's doing,
the
but
wind was ripping
I would
out
say
of this gap.
That probably also doesn't help with what they're able to throw here.
It turned over one of my most stable forces I have. Could not believe it out of my hand. The wind definitely plays a factor on hole 11. Not if you're Kevin Kiefer, though.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic shot. Gives him an open look, right, maybe 40, 45 feet or so. That's a fantastic drive for this hole.
Yeah, he's definitely happy with that one, especially seeing all the other shots the guys took.
Yeah, for sure. Woody having to get creative, too, around the bushes, around the trash can, but gives him a nice up and down look to say par.
And Sam's actually in a better landing area.
For sure.
Just because you do have basically a giant open area. And again, that's the roll away. That's just past the basket.
Yeah.
It's not a steep hill behind it, but you can even see from this angle that it's a downhill if you miss that putt. And that landed nicely. Again, walking away with a par, it's a good day.
For sure. Kevin just off a little bit left side.
Another putt, and he wants back.
Yep. Now that everyone's at least thrown 2 shots in the hole, I can say it. Shout out Titus Davey for the only bird on hole 11 the entire round. Great bird to get. Definitely picking up strokes on the field. All 59 other players.
Yeah, definitely. Any birdie you actually get out here feels like, oh, wow, good catch, basket.
And good comeback for Sam as well.
Yep.
He didn't really deserve that roll away, so good to see him get it.
Definitely. But yeah, anytime you can get a birdie on a lot of these holes out here, again, depending on how the OB was laid out, definitely nice to have.
For sure.
Yeah, the wind is ripping.
It really was. And that's tough. Kevin going from the 2 look to the bogey. Looked like he was putting in a headwind there. Might have expected a little more rise out of it. I mean, this hole's tough. Hole's averaging 3.43.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm sitting here just watching them play and just mesmerized by just how it played out. And
if you thought hole 11 played tough, well, hole 12 played even tougher. This is the hardest hole on the course, according to par. It's a 548-foot par 3. Big old drive, OB down the whole right side, down this tall grass, and then OB pond to the left side of the basket. So if you are trying to reach it, you've got about 30 feet left and maybe 60 feet right of a landing zone to land in.
Yeah, and this is a great drive by Sam to get way down there. Sure.
He's a little bit short of the basket, but he's safe. Should have whether it's a run or an easy up and down, either way, not in a bad position at all.
Right. And this hole, honestly, I mean, look at the view. It backs up to a giant farm, even though the storm clouds are in the background.
That needs to fade. Yep. Okay. It faded and dropped. If that stayed up in the tree, it could have landed OB, but it did drop nicely.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to land on the front side of those trees.
No.
It is deadly over there. Those bushes, even though you can barely see them from here, you can't get really through those to where you can see the basket too easily. And I think it jinxed him.
I lost that disc immediately.
I think you went into those bushes. I
Really?
just said you didn't want to be in.
That's a good looking turn. Got to come back. That wind did not let it come back enough. Oh, well, enough to be circle 1. But still safe. Still in a perfectly fine spot. Woody here throwing 3 after his out of bounds drive. That needs to hyzer back too. Oh, so he was not out of bounds off the drive. Just out of bounds on that shot. Okay.
I think you jinxed him the second time.
I did. Misunderstood where his first shot landed. Oh, that was a little run.
That looked good. The OB is tight off the tee, and I say that in a sense of if the wind was blowing the way it normally is on this hole, you just throw and hope you throw a stable enough disc that it's going to come back. And Sam giving it a bid for the 2, but we'll have an easy tap in.
Yeah. And I was talking about this hole with a couple people afterwards too. Our whole card read tailwind off the tee, and then you get down the hill, and then it was a headwind. And we're like, well, not really sure what that wind actually was. Good bid from Kevin. Little right side, little short.
We'll blame the storm clouds.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see he's unfortunately went OB on his approach shot, trying to save a bogey.
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah here went a little bit long in his approach, looking for the comeback par. Does it nicely.
Good putt. That was a nice clean putt, too.
For sure.
He looks relieved to get that one.
That's a good one. That's a good comeback.
Looks like everybody else is just going to tap in. I'm pretty sure Sam almost lost his disc from the wind right there. But everybody's just going to tap in so they get on to the next hole.
And as they do tap in, I do have to give one more shout out to Randon Lotta, who was on my card maybe 2 or 3 cards before this one.
Okay.
Pinned it. Absolutely pinned it. We all threw decent drives, decent approaches. He was still closer than all of our approaches too. Fantastic 2 to get. He's the only 2 on the field for the day.
Oh, wow. All right, so we're going to hole 13, 295 feet, par 3. This hole here, you can see the basket barely off the tee, but there's a giant pond in your way. Most of these guys are just going to throw over the pond, spike hyzer, and try to pin it.
So within the last 2 months, you can no longer see this pin off the tee. It just changed. Literally just changed.
Because everything's grown back.
It's grown, yes. Used to be able to.
And again,
that's a great
Sam
drive.
has great drive.
Yeah.
Yep. The good thing is that's really what you want to do on this one is throw something overstable, again, depending on what the wind's doing, to the right and just let it push back right to the basket.
I was thinking that's a little bit high. I lied.
Was that metal?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was lots of metal.
I think somebody owes him $1.
Almost an ace.
He looks so sad. He's like...
I wonder if he knew. I wonder if you can hear that.
I would assume. It looks like there's catch cam, probably gave him a thumbs up.
That's fair.
Or at least told him when they were walking to the next tee.
Kevin telling his disc to sit down. It does.
Yeah, so far 3 shots.
Yeah,
all
3 for
inside,
3.
all inside circle 1. No pressure here. I hope I didn't just jinx them.
We're really bad at jinxing people.
We are.
So. No, that looks good too.
Is it short?
No.
Nope. Should be.
I think that should be fine. Yeah. There is OB that goes up in that little divot bush area, but nobody's fine. Good putt too.
There we go. He's got a very colorful scorecard that he's trying to get more green on.
We're back on the green train now. That's what matters. Good putt from Sam as well. We might be looking at a star frame.
Look, we already talked about jinx.
They're close. I've got faith. See?
Okay. Don't let us down. I will say one thing that I do like is that he went through his motion of putting, even though,
absolutely,
which is usually the mistake that I make. I just putt because I'm,
you're close.
Yeah,
I agree. Hole 14, 605 foot par 4. OB, can't see it painted yet, but it's OB down the whole right side, tall grass. No OB on the left side, so the miss, if you're gonna miss, it's gonna be down the left side. But to put yourself in a better position, you do want to kind of hug that OB line. It's going to open up your approach a lot more. You might actually be able to see the basket, which is always fun for an approach.
Yeah, you almost want to say this hole will remind you of hole 10, except there's a lot more trees in your way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, the drive, honestly, I think it's a pretty stressful drive, especially in the wind that we had too. That looks good. That looks really good.
Yeah. I think he's going to get to the tree line.
That was crushed.
The cart in front of him is probably like, "Hey man, don't be
not yet.
We're not off the green yet."
Wow. I mean, that was
But that's the play, right?
475, 500.
As long as you have a look at the basket and try to get up there as far enough to see a gap to get through those trees, there's probably 7 or 8 trees in that line.
Yeah. There's
they're
one
not
big opening.
Big one, right?
Yeah.
But there's a main opening you are trying to get to.
I can't get over Jeremiah's drive. That was so good.
Next time he's in town, we'll have him sign a disc for you.
Please.
All right, there we go. Okay.
And
so again, he's pushing that OB on the right side.
What I mean, a little stressful just because it could have sailed a little bit, but you can see he can see this basket now. Yes, he's the furthest back of the card, but other than Jeremiah, he's probably in the best position.
Right. And again, you can see that gap on the right side of those trees. That's really the opening. You don't want to try to go any earlier if you can help it.
Yeah, Sam's a little bit pinched off, but should be able to forehand Heiser something through.
And just like I said, those
just so
trees,
many.
it's a guardian tree. Yep. Well, and on this one at the same time, that gap, if you go too far, that is very thick bushes. If you go too deep,
the miss is definitely short. You don't want to go far.
That's a great approach. I'm not gonna lie, they're making this hole look a little bit easier than
the hole's not easy.
No.
I do not think hole 14 is an easy hole. Jeremiah thinks differently.
He wanted it to.
He did.
Yeah. But it's still a good run. I mean, he's going to have a tap in for a birdie.
Yeah.
See him going for par save. Oh, no. He's only throwing 3, so par would be a tap in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sorry. In my head, everything's a 3.
Sure. You can count it that way.
Yeah.
Total score, that's what matters. I like pars because it makes me feel better.
Yeah. If that's the case, I would have changed all the pars when I played to like
par
a
7?
6 or 7.
Yeah, for sure.
Be like, hey, Mom, I got a par. I'd write to her, text her, take a picture of the scorecard, send it to her.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be proud.
That's a good
play. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys, it was a long day of playing. You know, the weather was hit or miss on how much rain you were going to get or how crazy the wind was.
For sure.
Very long weekend.
Hole 14 averaging right around par, 4.03. So birdie's gaining par, you're not really losing.
This one will be a little bit different. So hole 15, 637 feet. This hole here is all about the second shot.
Yes.
The first shot, of course, being in bounds, but the second shot, because, boom, you can see the basket is tucked in.
Yep.
So if you overthrow it, underthrow it, you're going to go in the crap of the bushes and have a very, very hard approach to try to save that par.
Similar idea to the last hole. The whole right side is OB'd on the tall grass. And if you're looking to get the easier approach and maybe be able to see the basket, you want to hug the OB. If you're looking to be safer off the tee and land left, you're making that second shot a little bit tougher. You got to hyzer it in a little bit more. Kind of depends on what you're looking for.
Do it.
Kevin looks to be hugging the OB a little bit. Hits that tree. It's in bounds. A little bit far back from the basket, but still definitely reachable.
Yeah, and these guys had bigger arms, so that second shot is just another tee shot.
Mm-hmm. But you do want to get that kind of distance if you can.
Yeah.
That makes your approach a little bit easier to swallow.
Well, it's easier to throw an approach shot when
it's shorter.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
It looks like that might have slipped out.
A little bit overturned.
But it's inbounds.
Yeah, he's safe.
And you can see that grass gets really tall out there.
Yes. And it was freshly mowed, so a lot of the tall grass clippings were still sitting there.
Yeah, it looks like the fairways were widened out a little bit.
That is going to be trouble. He went in the woods 50 feet too early. It is deep, and it is very thick back there.
Yeah. That, again, the common mistake is trying to...
Too early.
Yes.
Yep.
If you swing it out wide, worst case,
like
you have
what he
a jump
just
play.
did. Yeah. Woody went for the safer route. Not going to park it that way, but you're going to give yourself a circle two look.
And that should be, again, depending on how deep it went in, you should at least have a look for the putt there.
Jeremiah seems to be turning things around pretty well. He struggled with a couple holes in the front nine, but he's playing his back nine really, really well.
Yeah, and some of the back nine, some people consider having softer par
They
fours.
do. Sure.
Just because, every hole out here can be threed.
Yep.
On the back nine.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the holes, as some would say, a must get.
Yeah.
The holes 14 through 18 are the ones you want to get that three on.
It looks like Kevin made it most of the way out, right around the edge or so. Yeah, Woody made it pin high. Just a little bit right.
Looks a little frustrated at that putt, but again, where he was at, he could see the basket. He really had nothing in his way. It was just, got to run a putt. Same thing with Sam. They're both not too happy with it, but they at least gave themselves the opportunity for it.
Yeah.
That's a tough putt to miss.
That is. It was at least a putt for birdie, not a putt for par.
Yep.
That's a great save for par for Kevin. He was definitely out of position on his second. Great recovery.
Yeah, he got in there a little thick.
Mm-hmm.
A little deep. It looks like most of these guys are just going to go ahead and walk away with the par.
Card kind of struggled with this hole a little bit. I'm surprised to not see a birdie on it.
I'll be honest, they're all probably surprised they didn't get a birdie on it.
Probably true as well.
I stopped right here, looking back. I wasn't ready, but
And star par.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they all wanted the three, but they looked defeated taking the four.
Hole 16, par 3, 440 feet, uphill. All safe except for the black fenced-in area here on the right side plays out of bounds. So if you're throwing that big righty hyzer or righty flip-up, whatever you want to call it, don't land there because that's not the inbounds area. You want to land in the inbounds area. That's on the left side, closer to the basket.
When you have to get off the tee pad and run onto it, you're about to throw
Pretty far. Yeah. He's already proven he can throw pretty far, so I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes.
I think he just threw past the basket.
He did, and even though that's in tall grass, totally safe. Still gives him a look. Circle 2, run for it.
Yeah, this hole on camera, you can't really tell, but that's not flat ground. That's uphill.
That is absolutely uphill. It takes a good drive to get there.
Yeah. I really honestly don't know why that the pin is there, the fenced-in area. Like a few of the holes, I understand, but I think it just adds flavor to the course. Give a little bit of
flavor, extra seasoning on it.
You gotta have a little extra seasoning in Kentucky.
What is it? 26 herbs and spices, 22 herbs and spices. I don't need Kentucky Fried Chicken. I have no idea. Something like that. We're in Kentucky. We're gonna go with it.
Back to you, Bob.
It's Colonel. Come on.
The Colonel wouldn't know how many spices he has. That's a good approach. Should be an easy play for him.
He landed a little short off the tee, but good up and down. Nothing wrong with that. It's not one that par's losing strokes on, but a 2 is gaining strokes for sure.
Right. Again, 440-foot hole.
Uphill.
Uphill.
Plays every bit of 480. Jeremiah threw it like 580.
Oh, I thought that was in. That looked so good.
Too. He's had a lot of really good runs that just a tiny bit off.
Yeah. Good putt. Again, another hole where the 3 on this one's not going to feel as bad.
No, it really doesn't.
You can still see the wind in the background just blowing.
Most cards did 3 this hole. The vast majority of the field took pars, couple birdies, couple bogeys.
Yeah, again, unless you've got a 500-foot arm,
yeah,
the odds of getting a birdie on this one are close to 9.
For sure.
Oh, look at that, sharing the love over there. He's noticed Sam's been throwing it a lot. All right, so hole 17, 662-foot par 4. This one is the one that a lot of guys like to play when we come out here just because it's the hole that you can unleash a beast.
You got to empty your bag on it.
Yeah, so it's completely downhill. The tee pad overlooks this whole course. Actually, I think this is probably one of the taller spots in the whole course. So as you could barely even see the basket from here.
It's just fun. It's just a fun shot to throw.
That's so good.
It's pretty wide open. There's OB down the left side. Right side is just natural OB with trees in the fence.
But again, just gripping and ripping on this hole.
Yeah.
Hugging the right side, of course, so that way you don't push the left side OB.
Yeah. I did see a lot of people try to go for too much distance and make...
The cameraman had to tilt with him. He's like, I'm trying to see.
Just to make sure.
They both wanted to see the good shot.
Yeah.
And he's way down there. So he got a really good turn out of that one. And you can see Sam's shirt. It's definitely windy up there.
This hole definitely plays better for Sam's lefty shot as it coasts OB the entire way and then always is going to fade back in bounds. Doesn't really have to worry about it as much.
Yeah, on this one, you want to bite off a lot of distance. But keep in mind at the same time, if you can throw a 400-foot shot...
Yeah, you don't have to go that far.
You don't have to go that far, right?
Yeah.
Because, again, it's a par 4, and for most of these guys, the 3 should be easily reachable.
He's a little tucked off between the couple sporadic trees in the fairway.
And he got in there a little deep.
That's going to be a tough up and down.
But, again, shouldn't be too crazy for these guys.
Sure.
I feel like he's trying to throw this one in.
That's looking nice and smooth.
Yep.
Yeah, puts
should be
about
easy
at
putt.
25, 30.
If Sam throws this in, I'll give you $5.
That's fine. He's been throwing that.
Oh, wow, he went deep.
A little bit far. I don't think it's too bad.
There is a fence along OB on this hole,
Yeah.
but it's not really in play unless you throw a really... Did you go OB?
No, I almost did. It's okay.
Okay. Okay, how about this? It shouldn't be in play.
It should not be in play. I agree with that. It was windy. You're trying to read it. You expect your disc to do something, it does something completely different. I'm sure a couple of these guys could agree too.
Yeah. And again, just having to pitch out to get the easy part.
Yeah.
I say easy part, but we all know he wanted the easy birdie. Good putt. He's ready to go home. One more hole to go, and then a whole nother round.
And it's tough. He did walk in today with a 2-stroke lead on the field. Sitting right now,
birdie,
1 or
man.
2 strokes, maybe 3 strokes back from the leader too. Not the easiest pill to swallow. He's still keeping up.
Right.
You can tell he's probably not super happy about losing a couple.
Yeah, especially a course like this, like I said, with some quote-unquote softer par 4s.
Yeah, that
but-
requires a lot of distance
Exactly.
that he clearly has.
Yep. You can see he's glad that the basket caught that one.
Couple birdies. Should be a tap-in par for Woody as well.
Yeah, I think he's ready to get hole 18 over with and get back to the hotel or Airbnb wherever he's at.
Hole 18, it's the only other hole we're playing from the short tee pad for this event. It is a 447-foot par 3. Black fence that we pass on the right side is out of bounds. Everything else is completely safe. You definitely don't want to go early left into this big grouping of trees, whether it's the first grouping or the second grouping. If you're going to miss out far to the right. A lot of these guys are just going to be throwing either big hyzer out the right side, or maybe
big
with a
hyzer.
flat,
Yeah.
or maybe another.
I was like, I
hyzer.
don't think there's a route to go left on this hole.
No, not at all. Although you'd be surprised, I've seen a few people go left side forehand. It happens.
If you've got the arm, I guess, go for it.
Yeah.
This one looks like it's heading straight for the pin. I flew right over it.
Yeah.
That's,
It's a tough hole.
He bit off a lot of distance there.
I was wondering if Sam was going to go backhand and hyzer forehand.
I thought he was going to switch it up and throw with the right hand.
That would have been cool too. Although he's kind of facing the wrong way for that. He's got that on a great looking S-curve. Needed to fade back a little bit more to be in circle 1.
Yeah, but
still
still
a
good
totally
effort.
fine shot, yeah.
And again, usually if there's a miss,
Yeah, that's the one.
that's the miss. Yep.
Don't
Just
miss
pulling it too far right when
Sure.
the OB's not there is a good miss, just
Should
because
be
you're not in the thick of it on the left.
Yeah, should be a simple up and down.
That
Just throw it in for 2. That could have worked too.
That would have been a
I
good
like
way
the
to end
play.
the round.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, these guys are definitely. If you look in the background, they're tired.
Yeah.
They're ready to go home.
It's a long round. It's a long course.
Well, and again, if the wind is a headwind on every hole,
Yeah. It gets-
eventually
it's
you just
frustrating.
get you
It's-
just get a little tired of throwing.
Taxing on the mental game. Just a little bit low for 2. That would have been a good one to get to.
Definitely a good bid by Sam.
And I think this is for Jeremiah to stay on the lead card if he makes this for 2. Otherwise, he drops down the chase for the final round. And he's in there for a 2. That's a good 2 to get.
He seems. I wonder if he knew where he was. I mean, I'm assuming they look at their scores, but I wonder if
To
he
an
was
extent,
looking.
yeah. I know some people really don't like to look at all, but for the most part, people have
say par.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have a good idea of yourself compared to other people on your card.
In a bigger event like this, especially round 2,
Yeah.
you definitely are going to be looking.
Absolutely. And especially with this being lead card, like they know about where they're at.
Yeah, Sam coming in to just tap in his
With a great round.
almost 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he went, I believe, 8 down on this round.
Yep. Which is absolutely fantastic out here.
But they're going to show the putt.
So ending our round 2 back 9, we got Sam Lee in first place, 17 down total. Jeremiah tied for 2nd. Kevin Kiefer in 5th. And Woody Haas tied for 8th. We have one more round to go where we'll have Sam, Tyler, Randon, and Jeremiah on our feature card or on our lead card. Final round will be at Jacobson Park back in Lexington. Kind of a mix of the first 2 courses, a little bit of woods, a little bit of openness. We're excited to see how it plays out.
Please subscribe to Pure Flight Productions.
I'm Judge Executive James Kay, and I'm here at the Woodford County Disc Golf Course at the Woodford County Park. And it's a great day. It's Derby Day. And while we are the home of champions in Woodford County, we've got some champion disc golfers out here taking on the Woodford County course. I want to thank Pure Flight Productions and the Bluegrass Disc Golf Club for putting on this great tournament, and all of our participants, players, golfers, and the pros that are out here giving this course its first look. In Woodford County, we want to promote disc golf. We want you to come out here with your friends, your family, your neighbors, and try out our course. We're committed to improving it and making it better, so we want to know how the pros play here today in Woodford County. But thank you all for the tournament. Thank you for coming out, and we really, really love disc golf here in Woodford County. Thank you, guys.